Here is an experiment which has really blown my mind away because, well, I tried the experiment with and without AI. I build programming languages for my company, and my last iteration, which is a Lisp, has been around for quite a while. In 2020, I decided to integrate libtorch, which is the underlying C++ library of PyTorch. I recruited a trainee, and after 6 months, we had very little to show. The documentation was pretty erratic, and true examples in C++ were a little too thin on the edge to be useful. libtorch is maybe a major library in AI, but most people access it through PyTorch. There are other implementations for other languages, but the code is usually not accessible. Furthermore, wrappers differ from one language to another, which makes it quite difficult to make anything out of it. So basically, after 6 months during the pandemics, I had a bare-bone implementation of the library, which was too limited to be useful. Until I started using an AI, a well-known model, but I don't want to give the impression that I'm selling one solution over the others, in an agentic mode. I implemented in 3 days what I couldn't implement in 6 months. I have the whole wrapper for most of the important stuff, which I can easily enrich at will. I have the documentation, a tutorial, and hundreds of examples that the machine created at each step to check if the implementation was working. Some of you might say that I'm a senior developer, which is true, but here I'm talking about a non-trivial library, based on language that the machine never saw in its training, implementing stuff according to an API, which is specific to my language. I'm talking documentations, tests, tutorials. It compiles and runs on Mac OS and Linux with MPS and GPU support. 3 days. I'm close to retirement, so I spent my whole life without an AI. But here I must say, I really worry for the next generation of developers. I work on some simple physics simulation projects, and vibe coding completely not works. It just works in specific use cases like yours, but there are tons of cases where AI has zero idea what to do, just generating bullshit. You are vastly underestimating the expertise you are bringing into the scenario. Simply knowing what knowledge needs to be surfaced required years or decades of learning. I'm repeatedly reminded of this XKCD comic. LLMs are amazing knowledge lookup engines, and in the hands of an expert, it's extremely powerful, but only if you can identify the right solutions in the first place. Also, what you're describing is not vibe coding, it's AI-assisted coding. Vibe coding was given a specific definition by the person who coined it. It means not even looking at the code output and only looking at the behavior output. I'm learning faster than ever with AI, and to me, that's exciting, not scary. I'm not worried about my future because I know how hard it is to wrangle complexity. And while we'll be able to accomplish more faster with AI, the complexity is going to explode, and it will require more expertise than ever to keep it under control. My main concern for the next generation is that their education was not focused enough on fundamentals, and that we lack good mentorship programs to help juniors become experts. But those are fixable problems if we can get our act together and identify the solution correctly. I built a few WordPress plugins and a marketing bot with ChatGPT in an hour,